What is up, folks? Welcome back to Fowl Ball Talk. It has been a while. Matt Trigger, Tim Malarkey. We are covering some big Orioles news as well as waiting for the game to wrap up. They're in the bottom of the seventh right now, I believe. Tim, what is going on, man? It's been a couple weeks.
It has. Got some breaking news today. I don't think we've talked last since we sat with Ryan Kemp at the trade deadline. Also, nice name, Matt. It says you're Matt Trigger, aka Tim. You see that?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It's so small on the screen. I like it. I'm gonna keep it.
Matt, what did you think when you saw that little pop-up message from me this morning that said Tim Malarkey has sent you a message, and the first thing you open and see is Orioles agree to a 8-year, $67 million contract extension with Samuel Basallo.
Considering he just got called up last week, it was a little bit of a shock. So essentially, they bought out all of his arbitration years,
plus
and
three.
I think plus like his first 2 or 3 years of eligibility for free agency, I believe. I like it. I don't know what this means for Adley Rutschman. What they're going to do with the future of Adley, because I don't think they're going to throw upwards of $200 million in the catcher position between two guys. So unless one of them makes the full-time move to DH and first base, I really don't know what's going on. But I like the fact that they locked down somebody to a long-term contract extension that has a future here in the organization.
Fun fact is the first contract extension of this sort, this caliber, in the Michael Eyes era. So 7 years.
7 years, and this is the first long-term deal. It's nice, but it's borderline pitiful at the same time.
Yeah, and that's.
I'm happy it got done.
Of course, totally happy it got done. I stood up and freaked out. I was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking incredible!" I could go back and read through text message I've sent you when Sammy was in the minors and I was watching him and watching film on him even before he made it to Norfolk and in Bowie. Like last year when I was talking about him, I think the words to use it correctly that I said to you is that the Orioles haven't seen a hitter like this since I've been alive. And I'm 34 years old. So I was already impressed with the kid out of the gun. I understood, that this if there's anybody on your team that has the potential for rookie of the year eligibility, all of that stuff, service time manipulation, it's him. It's why he's not in the lineup tonight. I mean, he has 116 at bats left to go. You get 130. He has 116 left for them to divvy out for the remainder of the season. So I get it. I mean,
it's crazy that they announced this extension and then Mansolino physical. My buddy, stop. We know what they're doing. Why not just be truthful about it? Who you're saying he got one too many needles or something? Come on. Like, what are we doing? It's such an insult to our intelligence.
It is. I think we just had hit a home run. Sorry, I know some people were probably watching the game too. What just happened here? Colton Cowser, moo.
It's crazy because I was going to talk about Colton after we got off of the
We're
San
gonna get to
Basallo.
that. We're gonna get to that.
He's batting 208.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna go out on this limb here and agree with our friendly 2 to 6 drive time voice on the fan, Jason Lockenfora, and say that he is not an everyday player and he should not be included in the core bunch conversations.
Colton.
I think yeah, I
Oh, you
think this
pivoted hard on me. Sorry. Okay, I'm on track.
yeah, I pivoted pretty hard. But let's just kind of get into that, Tim. The sample size is big enough now. We're at 2 full. I think this is his second full season in the majors, maybe third full season here. It's been a steady decline every single year in all of his metrics, in all of his.
It's on second full season.
But I mean, the power's there, the athletic ability is there, but he is not putting it together. And I don't know if it's just the funk of this team the last 2 years or what, but I'll agree with you with one thing we talked about yesterday, texting each other. You got to keep him around just so he doesn't go get fixed by another major league organization that knows how to fix hitters. Like we don't want him going to Miami and being a 35, 40 home run guy because they fix Kyle Stowers in half a year.
Correct. So, also for everyone watching, it was a solo home run. 7-6 Orioles, bottom of the 7th. But full disclosure, I got ripped and rolled and tossed around today on the social webs because of my hot take about the Sam Basallo deal. I was totally excited about the Sam Basallo deal. My point of focus of why I got tossed around was not on Sam Basallo, it was on Mike Elias, but we'll touch on that later.
Yeah.
When it comes to Colton Cowser, the power is there. The potential is also there. I think that he could be a great player. He's actually filling a hole that we have right now when it comes to center field. I mean, you have guys like Jeremiah Jackson, who is an infielder. Orioles threw him out into the outfield 2 weeks ago. Still learning the position. It's for the remainder of this year. Colton Cowser is the center fielder of this team. The problem is that there's a couple players in the minors that could fit this bill. Enrique Bradfield Jr.
Vance Honeycutt.
We'll get to Vance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my thing is I know the heat's heavy on Colton right now due to his batting average, due to the performance. What are you getting? All I can say is the other night when that game happened in Houston, Boston, runner didn't round third. Orioles win the game. Boston should have sent the runner there. It should have happened. The reason it didn't happen is because Colton came up with that ball. The runner made his decision as Colton was cocked and loaded. No offense to Cedric. I love him to death. If Cedric Mullins, the center fielder there, that player is rounding third and going home and scoring. Colton held the runner because the scouting report said Colton's arm is ridiculous, which he probably should have gone home because Colton's throw was way off target and he would have scored. That's the one mega plus for me in the outfield from Colton is his arm is nasty. So I don't know. I can't make my decision. To be completely unbiased, I hear what you're saying. He's not performing. He's not hitting at the level that he needs to be, and he's definitely outside the bubble when it comes to your said core. My problem is I'm not sure if he has been given a fair shot this season from fan expectations, your and I's opinion, because the dude literally slid into first base and broke his hand. Like, we haven't seen a full anywhere near close this year of Colton to make a decision. And I think I am going to be patient enough to give him that. I know that's not what you want to hear.
No, I agree with you to a certain extent. To a certain extent, I agree with you.
Also, not to interrupt you, Sammy, newly signed Oriole is pinch hitting right now in a 7-6 game in the bottom of the 7th. So keep rolling. I'm just going to keep everyone updated.
That's cool. When I say that he shouldn't be involved in the core consideration, it's more along the lines of what his next contract should be from us. I don't think you're going to pay him top center fielder money.
Colton?
Unless, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
You know, you're going to have to kind of meet in the middle somewhere between what the low end and the high end. You're going to find some type of median in there to justify that type of payday.
If we're talking about the bubble as far as pay scale,
yeah.
Unfortunately, Colton is way outside of the bubble when it comes to Jackson, Jordan, and Gunnar. And I think Jordan's borderline just based off of unfortunate injuries.
Yeah.
Samuel Basallo
That's
strikes
another.
out.
I think that Westberg's tricky too, because neither one of them can stay healthy, whether it's freak incidents or not.
I'll have to agree with you on that as far as the stay healthy line. The only thing that I'll disagree with you on is that, to me, armchair GM over here, what do I know? Westberg, if you could find a way to get him to stay healthy, he is arguably the most productive player on this team. The guys at the plate, he produces. He's over 320. Right, but he bats over 320 with runners in scoring position. There's no one on the team even close.
I hear you, but you got to be on the active roster to do that.
And I hear you. That's why it's like,
if you make it a 162 game sample size, is that 320 going to be 300? Is it going to be 308? Is it going to be 280? You know, you're seeing chopped up sample sizes, and all those at bats do equal out to that 320, but it's not a season long thing. Now, if you're telling me he plays in 152 games out of 162 and he's hitting 320 with runners in scoring position, you got me. That's where I'm at with that.
And it's tough because you're not wrong, but the thing about Westberg is are we seeing a player that has really bad luck, or are we seeing a player that could be labeled as fragile? Personally, I've met the dude probably 3 or 4 times at this point. I read a lot, firsthand accounts of the type of person he is. I mean, it's been said by pundits, people on the inside, that he's the only guy in that clubhouse that doesn't have like a kid mentality, that, that has like I'm focused, I'm laser focused, I'm locked in. This is my, I'm showing up to the ballpark early, first one to get here, last one to leave. I'm putting in the work. Like they call him the captain and the colonel, whatever you want. Like you get the point. It's tough because it's, from everything that I've heard and everything I've known from the couple times that I've just shaken the hand and said hello to the guy in exchange, small talk for 2 minutes, that I'm leaning towards that it's bad luck. I really am. And I think that if there's anyone that would put in the work, like, it's him. So
fragile's a very, very tough word to use when it comes to athletes that play pretty much every day to every other day for a solid 5.5 months.
Oh yeah.
I do take that into consideration, because most of us couldn't do that. Perform at a high level, this is the only sport in major league professional, however you want to put it, where being good at your job 30% of the time can get you in the Hall of Fame as a hitter. So I do take all that into consideration. I know that there's players on this team that are fragile. Um, I have to, lean towards one pitcher in particular and one position player in particular, and that position players are our other catcher. And I'm not trying to shit on the guy, because I've done that a lot on this show over the last season and a half.
I didn't say it. You said it.
Yeah, but when are we going to call a spade a spade? It's to me, it speaks volumes of how this organization feels about him when Samuel Basallo has been on the major league roster for exactly 7 days and he received an 8-year extension. And here we are talking about what to do with the first overall pick of his draft class.
Yeah.
You know, there's something between the ears because Adley's got it with the physical tools. He's a good hitter when he's locked in. He's a good catcher when he's locked in. But there's just something between the ears that just is not clicking 100% of the time. And it's gotten to the point now where you're in your late 20s, mid to late 20s, and the kid that just came up last week just got an 8-year contract extension. He's locked in for almost another decade. Like,
Yep.
to me, that might affect him more now. If he's as fragile as he seems,
You're crazy if you think it wouldn't.
right? Because now, what are you getting the last month out of him?
You opened the door for me, so I'm going to roll here. I was prepared for this conversation.
Yeah, and I'm being pretty gentle.
You are. Lots of people online today were floating around the ideas. Well, how do all the other guys feel on the team now that they walk in and see Basallo got the deal? I think people need to realize that it's a business. If you're going to be a grown ass man in baseball, you got to know that your counterparts, people at the side of you, some of them are going to get paid more than you, some of them are going to get paid less than you, some of them are going to get shitty deals, some of them are going to get good deals, some of them are going to get deals early, some of them are going to get deals late. That's how it is. I think as a player, you need to recognize that if the guy's on your team, you just got to support him.
Yeah,
be happy for the guy. You got a deal. It is what it is. Unless that person voices to you that deal is not what they wanted, but they took it because their agent said that it was the best, situation for them, then, whatever. But you be happy for your guys. I think that naturally as humans, we can be happy for our guys, but still have that little, whispered birdie in the back of our brain that's upset. That's, we're human. Like everyone has emotions. I could be happy for you, Matt, that you signed a huge contract with a huge network, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to support you. I'm going to cheer for you. But in that same, scenario, I could be a little jealous. I could be a little butthurt. Why not me? And I think that that's just natural. And to think that these guys that are, sub 26, 27 years old don't feel that way would be ridiculous to think that they don't. I think the Samuel deal, to get to my guy Adley, my dog's name Adley. It's not just that. There's, I've been an Adley fan since day one. I fully believe, and this could be a hot take. I could get rolled on this on, Twitter, like X, like I did today, whatever the case may be. I fully think and believe that they signed Sam today and gave him that deal with the thought in mind that, like, he won't be their catcher 3 or 4 years from now. This is how the deal breaks out, just so that you can think about it and, hear it out. 2026, $1 million. 2027, $1 million. 2028, $1 million. 2029, $4 million. 2030, $7 million. 2031, $11 million. 2032, $15 million. 2033, $15 million. In 34, there is where is it? In 2034, there's an $18 million team option with a $7 million buyout. Also, they gave him a $5 million signing bonus today. So, but the fact that 2026, 2027, and 2028 are all 1 million, 29, 30, 31, 32 is where it increases in increments. I think they paid him like you're going to catch for the next 3 years. And then you're going to be this team's DH platoon first baseman if you have to. You're going to DH for this team for the foreseeable future. I think that still at the major league level, Adley is light years ahead of where Sam is when it comes to his defensive skills behind the plate. And I'll stand on that hill. I don't care if you roll me for it. It is what it is.
I see it differently.
Understood.
I see it as a message to the team, more so to Adley than the rest. Maybe I'm not trying to psychoanalyze it at all, but to me, if you're willing to pay Basallo, who's not a Boris client, and you haven't extended Adley, who is also not a Boris client,
Correct.
let's kind of go into that part of this whole ordeal. There's a lot of people on social media, especially on your Twitter.
Today was rough.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna make this quick comment. A lot of these people that give you a hard time don't have the fortitude to step in front of a camera and a microphone and give your opinion honestly. It's real easy to comment whatever you want. I'll leave it at that because I've had that conversation with people before. I think this is showing the other guys that are Boris clients, like, hey, we will work with you and get you to the table. But in the grand scheme of things, Scott Boras is not doing what Basallo's agents did today. And that's where it begins and that's where it ends. Because if that was the case, Gunnar Henderson would have had a 15-year extension a year ago
for $300 million.
Right. He would have had probably more, probably closer to 450.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson would have been extended after the way he ended last year. Westberg would have been extended after his All-Star nomination. So there's a lot at play that people just don't realize. Like, oh, they can't lock down their core. Their entire core is represented by one guy. One guy. And his whole thing is he does not believe in buying out arbitration years. He wants the arbitrators to set the market for these guys, and that way he has something to build off of when they hit free agency. That's the beginning and end. I'm sorry. Like you're not going to see a Jackson extension or a Gunnar extension until the time comes.
Correct.
And when it comes to Gunnar Henderson, do I think Gunnar is going to be a lifelong Oriole? I don't have a lot of confidence. But if Gunnar Henderson plays consistently all next year and the year after the way he's played lately, we're going to be shelling out some big bucks because Gunnar Henderson's been one of the most consistent offensive players on this team for the better part of 2 months now, maybe a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to let him walk. You're not because the last thing you want to do is see Gunnar in Dodger blue or as a Red Sox or as a Houston Astro or a Texas Ranger, or even somebody that might be good by them, like the Miami Marlins, where he can go make $50 million a year and not pay any income tax on it. You know, it's you. I know we're jumping the gun on a lot of this, but Basallo is really contract was to Adley. Like, hey, we could have done this with you, but you're not living up to it. And they're basing this contract on what Basallo could potentially do offensively. He might not be our catcher long term. I don't even think Adley's our catcher long term. You know, our catcher might not. He might be in high school right now or college right now. We really don't know, and that's a scary thing because to me, it's finally starting to click for Kobe Mayo, even though he's not getting inconsistent at bats. It's starting to click for him. So, do you want to make sure that he gets as many reps at first base so he can have his bat in the lineup? You got to do that. Mountcastle's not coming back next year. If he does, it's going to be to platoon at first and DH with Mayo. You know, so you got to see Kobe all the way through at this point because he's starting to hit major league pitching at a consistent basis, and he's got power. And
some of the best.
You need right-handed power in Camden Yards because the fence is back in for the most part. I totally believe that Adley doesn't have a long-term spot anywhere unless it's full-time DH. But then what do you pay him to be our full-time DH? Because the only metric you have to go off of a full-time DH is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. So
and he's not Shohei. He's not even in the same stratosphere as Shohei.
I think what I'm about to say might shock you a little bit.
Probably. Because you love this guy.
Adley?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough for me. Man, I think today might have was a big like notch in the belt, whatever you want to call it. It might have been something that kind of clears up the picture a little bit about the Orioles' plans or their future. Man, what I'm a little concerned about is the fact that at this point, you know, the dream team would be to have a guy like Adley Rutschman, the switch hitter, you know, who was coming out of the draft as a 1-1 with the generational bat. And Samuel Basallo, who we all know what we see and we see what we see with our own plain eyes. Like, I'm fumbling over my words here because it's tough. Like, there isn't room to have both of them be your number one. I mean, hypothetically speaking, you could get a contract out on Adley. I think his price just drastically got destroyed and dropped today with the signing of Sam. But I mean, you could platoon the best catching duo in all of baseball. But that's not why they paid Sam. And to be honest, I've told you this multiple times. What I see from Sam behind the plate is something that I haven't seen in a very long time. I told you verbatim that I don't think I've seen a swing like this or a presence like this in the box since the steroid era. And you know, I'll stand behind that.
He's 21, but he looks like he's been there a while.
It's weird. It's like it gives me chills watching the guy stand in the box. But where does Adley fit in? I'm not sure. I think Mountcastle, unfortunately, is probably out of the picture. The issue is like, is this team going to commit on Kobe Mayo because he's not going to play third base?
They need to. They need to put a first baseman's mitt and tape it to his hand this offseason and get him acclimated because you're going to be playing 150 games at first base for the foreseeable future.
And then Sam fills your role at first base, or Adley fills your role at first base, and Adley's your DH at first base, and Sam catches.
Here's it sounds convoluted what I'm about to say. I think the only way Adley truly fits into the future of this team is if you tell Adley you're going to be platooning between 3 spots, and we'll try to make the contract work, but you're going to get majority of your at-bats at DH, and you can spell Basallo behind the plate once a week, maybe twice.
Holy shit. Sorry, keep talking.
And then you also show him how to play a little bit of first base, you know, just so he can stay active and stay acclimated. And then you just have him platoon both of those guys while still being our DH because he hits the best when he's our DH. He's got the best numbers as a hitter when he's not playing the field. And that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. The metrics don't lie. It's like a 55, 60 point difference from when he's playing behind the plate and when he's DHing when it comes to his average.
It
I
is.
know Machin hit a pinch hit home run.
Yeah. Yep. Machine just got hold of one. Machine just got hold of one. But yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's definitely a big question of where does Adley fit into this team. You signed Basallo. Personally, it's probably cut ties with Adley. I mean, if they're going to target Mayo as the first baseman, then it's you can find a backup catcher. I mean, shit, we rocked with James McCann. A lot of teams do it, but it's clear that the Orioles moving forward is Samuel Basallo. I don't think that they intend him to be the catcher for, in 4 years from now. I would say the next 3 years probably, but I mean, that's typical in baseball. There haven't been people that have done it like that since Salvador Perez, although, structurally speaking, he probably does kind of resemble Salvador Perez. I think what's tough for me is that I wouldn't say I was shocked. I would say kind of little, like, I'm very, I've already explained it. I'm over the top. I'm so happy that we signed Sam Basallo. I've been telling you for years now that this kid's swing is like nothing I haven't seen. So the fact that I woke up and saw, a deal today, I'm halfway through my workday and I get a text, I couldn't believe it at first. I totally was shocked. So I'm like overly happy that we got the deal done. It is what it is. It leaves so many open-ended questions. Like, I have no doubt that, you would be committing malpractice if you weren't trying to make deals for all of your young people on the team. So it's not that there's not deals being made. I think that the price or the offer for said deals in some scenarios might be risky, right? You make a deal with one of these young guys, whether it be Jackson, Gunner, Westberg, whatever. People are going to call you crazy and say, holy crap, you took a huge risk on offering that and getting him to sign it. But there hasn't been anything under this Elias era in 7 years where I would evaluate it as a risk taking. I mean, you could say some of these, I can fix him kind of free agent acquisitions or international signing being Sagano, like you don't know what you're going to get. Sure, that's risk taking. I'm saying there hasn't been any risk taken on any of this young so-called core of this team. And that's kind of what's aggravating to me is 2 weeks ago, what we were being told by this front office is that Samuel Basallo isn't ready or up to par to be able to catch major league games and be an everyday catcher in the major leagues. The guy comes up and plays 3 games, and he's the first major extension of the Mike Elias era in 7 years.
Well,
I'm not knocking the extension and the player. Like, I'm happy as shit. I literally think that he is going to be a generational bat for the Orioles, a name that we remember for years. I'm not mad about that at all. I'm confused in the fact that 2 weeks ago we're being told one thing, that this kid can't play at the major league level, and then 2 weeks later it's we just signed him. He's the first extension of my timeline here. Like, I get that. My thing is you mean you couldn't go out on a limb and sign one of these so-called core players? I mean, I have nothing to go off of, Matt. There's nothing in this history, in this track record that sits here and says to me, hey, trust in Elias to sign some of these core guys. There's the only person that has been signed is a catcher that's had caught 3 games or started for us 3 or 4 games before we inked him the deal. Like, it's based off the free agency, the trade deadline acquisitions, everything in the so-called bargain bin shopping that Elias does. We're a playoff caliber team for 3 years straight, and we don't see anyone brought in that's going to put us over the top, with the exception of a 1-year rental on Corbin Burns, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to do or sit here and believe that Elias might spend 5 million, 10 million over to go get a deal done with one of these core members. I think this whole core thing might not be a core in 3 years, because it's a lot easier to sign an international guy, when you wave a bag in front of his face and this money is going to change your life forever. And you have 2 agents that aren't Scott Boras or any, it's just different. It's different. And I feel like it was a layup for Mike. I'm happy with the deal. Don't get me wrong. I'm over the top that we signed Basallo. The kid deserves it. I think he's generational. I think he's going to be an incredible player. I just think that this was a layup for Mike Elias, that it doesn't show me anything that he's out there willing to cut these deals. Like,
it also gets the fan base off of his back for a little while.
Exactly.
Because if he goes into this offseason and he doesn't add a significant pitcher or a significant bullpen arm or somebody to add to this lineup, I'm not saying all 3, one of the 3.
He has to, right? I mean,
He has to. He has to, but if he doesn't and he does the bargain bin stuff, what he's going to fall back on and what this organization is going to fall back on is, we extended Sam Basallo. That's what it looks like from the outside looking in. I mean, to me, that's what it is. It's a fail safe in case he doesn't succeed in what he wants to do in the 26 off season.
So, there's so many people in my DMs and my comments today that are like, trust the process, celebrate
like Dave.
Yeah, Dave's one of them. He knows. I
Dave's
respect
a
his
dick.
troll game. Yes, he is. The thing about it is that
I forgot I watch his show every day.
As a realist, I base my opinions on history, right? And in 7 years, 3 years of being a playoff team, trade deadline, free agency, what has Mike Elias done that should make me confident that at this offseason he will go out there and acquire what needs to be done to put this team over the top? And again,
That's true.
I'm not taking anything away from the signing today. I think it's a great signing. It's team friendly. I get that, and I'm happy for it. I understand that. I just think it's a layup, and it's nothing to be like woohoo Elias on. Like, I don't. I think that this winter is going to be make or break.
Oh, for sure.
Make or break.
There's no choice.
I would love to see a deal go get done with Trevor Rogers.
That's my next hope is Trevor.
I don't think you're going to have to overpay for him. I think you're probably going to get a good deal on him because, you're basing your evaluation off of the last 13 games. Like, I think you might be able to get a good bang for your buck there. And that would be something that I would think Elias would jump all over. But I think there also needs to be 3 bullpen arms, another starting 1 or 2 that gets brought in, and probably an outfield bat, outfield power bat.
That's a tall order.
It is. It's a lot to do. I mean, we have no bullpen. If you look at the lineup as it stands right now and who you would field on the opening day of next year, there's not a person in the lineup that's over the age of 30 years old.
I don't see that as necessarily being a problem.
I don't, but I think that there needs to be some kind of leadership in this dugout. Who would you call a leader on this team right now?
Hard. It's hard. That's we traded them all. We traded all the leaders.
We sure did.
And it doesn't seem to be going very well in the favor of the San Diego Padres these days.
I should talk bad about my second team.
I will. I mean,
I just want Manny to get his ring, man.
I want Manny to come home.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
I know it's not happening, but you know, the vibes are different now.
Very.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at it right now. For next year, honestly, Tim. Like you just brought that up, and I've been thinking about it for a minute now. Kowser's your center fielder next year. Your corner outfield spots are the question marks. Are you bringing up Bradfield next year? Probably not. Has Kerstad seen his last run at the major league level here? Possibly. You're gonna have to go find somebody that's not Tyler O'Neill to play outfield for you. I think O'Neill's gone. I think that 1 year option is going to be, exercised. I think he's out of here.
I
You don't?
disagree with you there.
You
No, he
think
hasn't. He has an opt out, and no one's going to pay him more money. He's going to sit here and collect the check. He hasn't done shit this year to deserve it. It'd be different if he was like if he had 15 home runs right now,
and he doesn't,
and
It's not even close.
was a pinch hit nightmare. Yeah, then he's opting out. And he's going to go get more money. I think he's going to ride this cushion into the sunset.
But still, you're not going. He's a platoon guy.
Yeah, platoon when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I think he's been on the 60-day twice this year at different points in time.
I don't know, man. At this point, I just don't trust anything that comes out of that from whatever training staff we have on this team now, whatever they tell us. This isn't a dig at Manzolino. I know the dude's just doing his job, but
let's talk about the training staff for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to get into.
They've ruined Felix Bautista.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I haven't put this out into the social ether or written it anywhere, but
they've ruined that dude's career. So you mean to tell me that's a minimum?
But what a lot of people don't realize what the pitching staff and stuff did with Felix this year that would have caused that.
Yeah, but those of us that pay attention know. So now in the span of 2 years now, Tim, he's had a Tommy John surgery, and now he's had a rotator cuff and labrum surgery.
Yep, and with Tommy John on Felix, you can't. There's no knock on that. When you're throwing 103 miles an hour, it's not natural. It
was bound to happen.
It was inevitable. But the thing that's effed up about it, excuse my French, had to catch myself there, is that whoever behind this, brilliant organization decided it was a great idea to change a guy who's been throwing a ball that way his whole life, to change his arm angle, to take pressure off of his elbow because of said Tommy John. I get the idea behind that. The guy's called the mountain. He's been throwing a ball his whole life. He throws 103 miles an hour. You change this guy's arm angle to take pressure off his elbow. Pressure's got to go somewhere else. They didn't just injure his shoulder, Matt. What did they do?
They obliterated it. They obliterated it, man.
They blew the dude's shoulder out.
I feel so bad for Felix because at the
Felix the
end of the day,
human? Yes.
yeah, because at the end of the day, all this dude wants to do is pitch,
Yeah.
and it's so sad that in the span of 2 seasons, they have worked this guy into the ground to where he needed Tommy John and rotator cuff. The elbow you can rehab and come back from. The shoulder thing, that's completely different.
Yep.
It's so different, man. And
Did I send you
th
the numbers on that? Shoulder
yeah,
versus elbow?
yeah, it and it's a huge drop off.
Wow.
And
Less than 32%.
yeah, that's a terrible statistic in itself.
And that's to come back and actually play the game of baseball. That's not wait on like being able to pitch again.
He's
That's
got a 12-month recovery. That's just to feel normal again post rotator cuff surgery. That's a
mhm.
major surgery. Tommy John is a major surgery, but it's more common in baseball than it ever has been. Um, but
Yeah.
Felix might be done. And if he comes back, you really think he's going to throw 103?
For
If he throws low 90s, I'd be astounded. And
for
then
the
at that
sake
point,
of
he's just a regular guy.
Felix, the human, and the guy he is, like, of course, I'll hope and wish that every day if I can sway it in any way, shape, or form. Like, I truly hope that he's the anomaly in this, and that he's one of the guys that can break that and come back and throw that way and be himself. I preach
It,
on numbers all the time, and numbers just they don't lie. And
his body's falling apart. Let's just cut through all that and the anomalies for a second, Tim. And I'm not trying to be rude about any of this in any way, shape, or form. But now you have to look at this fact that in the span of his entire Major League Baseball career, he's hurt his foot, he's hurt his knee, he's had major reconstructive surgery on his elbow, and now he's having major shoulder reconstruction surgery on his throwing arm. Um, he's not young. He is going to take a very long time. If we see Felix Batista again, it'll be in the 2027 campaign. And now you're talking about 2 years of rust to knock off because he really hasn't pitched a whole lot this year. And when he did, they changed his arm angle to where he put so much emphasis and torque on his shoulder that he was trying to save his elbow from popping again. And that's just an unfortunate thing. Felix Batista may never play another inning of baseball again in his life, at least in the majors. And that's like I blame the Orioles 100%. They ruined this guy, and that's not being talked about enough. This Sam Basallo contract is cool, but when you look at what's going on the last week or two, knowing that your once dominant closer may never pitch for you again or anybody else for that matter because of what you did is egregious at best.
speaking of that, pretty sure Mayo just got hit on the hand.
Oh, fun.
Um, but no, it's I don't need to waste my breath on it. I don't need to talk about it on here. But when it comes to the Orioles training staff, I think that it would be fair to say that there's a lot in question. There's a reason a guy like Grayson Rodriguez was putting off a surgery personally while the team's advising him to do so. If you have
Yeah,
a team advising you to do so and you're like, no, I don't really want to listen to what you say right now, there's got to be some kind of trust issue there.
there is a huge divide. There has to be.
I mean,
This
Matt,
organization.
we led the majors in players on the IL this year.
I know,
Something is
and
not
we're not
right.
done. It's still August. We still got another month of baseball.
And it's not, I don't want to hear the unluckiness. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, we have players in our lineup that are getting called soft because they can't keep their hamstrings healthy. Like, You're telling me we just got bad luck and everybody's got bad hamstrings? I don't believe it.
I am trying my best to make sense of it. From the general manager on down, for the amount of talent that's on this baseball team when healthy, this is an utter shit show. You can't tell me it's not, Tim. I understand that we're diehard fans of this team. We've had plenty of people come on this show. We've had Tim Kirkchin come on this show and praise the Orioles for their outlook and their future. And here we are talking about if they need to absolutely retool everybody from Elias on down in the midst of the rebuild being over, that we're just retooling. There's a chance that everybody might be brand spanking new next year. You think that the names they're throwing around for coach right now for the next manager of this baseball team, we the names I've been hearing over the radio waves and reading about online have been Ryan Flaherty, Skip Schumacher, and Gabe Kapler. Those are the three names that I've been hearing as the next potential skipper from outside the organization.
The thing that's interesting about Skip is that there's probably going to be obviously multiple teams in on him. The thing that's interesting about Ryan is that ex-Oriole, it would be his first stab. I don't know.
I don't know if, and this might be a radioactive job right now
Very well could be.
because honestly, if Mike Elias fails this coming off season, you might be a manager with a sitting duck GM who might want to replace you when the next GM comes in.
If Mike Elias fails this offseason to bring anything in that will assist this team in getting over the hump and getting back to the basics and playing some playoff baseball, you can see Tony Manzolino ride it out.
And he has no business, to quote our friend Jason, he has no business being a major league manager.
It's tough.
Business. It's not cut out for everybody, but
Basallo just struck out.
Buddy, what are you going to do? I mean, you didn't start him. You bring him off the bench cold, and he strikes out twice. Okay. That's going to happen. The kid's not going to hit a home run every single time he's up at the plate.
No, absolutely not.
I really don't know what experienced major league manager is going to come here after watching this from the outside in. Who's going to come here? Who's going to want to come here? You don't think if Skip comes here and he chooses to take the Orioles job, that it's not going to come with some serious
overall
concessions?
I think it definitely is.
You don't think he's going to want to say on the roster? You don't think he's going to want to say on his coaching staff? You don't think he's going to want to lean into whatever he wants to as opposed to the analytics?
I think that's the biggest determining factor.
Manzolino is a sitting duck. And if Manzolino is coaching this team on opening day next year, something went terribly wrong.
So,
and you can't tell me it didn't.
Interesting tidbit for you. You know about Mabry, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, he has the largest player support out of anybody in that dugout right now. The guys love him. He's been here for 2 months. Do you know whose guy Mabry is?
Who would
Skip
that be?
Shoemaker.
Huh.
If you wanted to figure out what was wrong from within, you wanted to get someone inside and know what was really going on, it would probably make sense to have somebody inside to tell you what the real deal is. What's happening over here? What's happening over here? What does this guy think? What does this guy think? I think that there's a chance. Now, this could be straight up conspiracy theory Tim over here talking. I think there's a chance that Mabry might be here and have been here for 3 months now, 2 months, however long he's been here. And yes, he's, helping the guys. A lot of them have accredited him to what they've learned behind the plate and his hitting styles. And, they've been public talking about it. But Mabry ain't no rook. He's a fully vetted bench coach. He's been around the league for a while. He very well could be evaluating. Like, higher ups above what we see on this bench and this coaching staff could have said, hey, bring Mabry in here with the hopes that we're bringing Skip in here next season. Let Mabry get his feet wet for the remainder of the year and evaluate. Skip shows up off season. Mabry walks in and slaps down a whole report on his desk. Here's what I see. Here's what's happening.
Plausible.
Here's what
That's not even a conspiracy theory. That's very plausible. I would go out on a limb and say that could be pretty much what's going on.
Wipe the slate, keep Mabry around.
Yeah. And then go get your guys.
Yep.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. But you got to do this earnestly, and you got to go get this guy some pitchers. Whoever the next manager is, you got to get him some bona fide major league arms. Let's look at this. I know we're an hour in, but look at this rotation right now. It's Kramer, Sagano, Brandon Young. I sent you the graphic earlier.
Best ERA in baseball, baby.
Right, the best ERA in baseball. And it's those three. And it's Trevor Rogers and Slim Povich. And all those guys, Rogers should be the only one in the rotation next year.
Might be the best rotation in baseball, but I think that might have changed after Brandon Young's outing last night, and then
that
Povich
is the craziest thing to me. This dude almost threw a perfect game.
Uh-huh.
And then he gets shelled on his next outing.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. And I'm a firm believer that should have been an error. And he should have went into the ninth still with a no-hitter.
You're either on it or you ain't.
Correct. It's tough, man. Because at this point, are you even bringing Bradish back this year? I wouldn't.
What, next year?
No, I'm saying this season.
Oh, Bradish is pitching this Boston series.
But I'm saying, would you? With the way things are going right now, would you really want to risk that?
To be honest, Matt, they don't have anything to lose.
They have Bradish to lose.
I think they're so used to they've lost him twice already.
But it's been their fault the entire way.
Oh, I'm not arguing that.
It's been their fault the entire way. I know injuries just happen, but the mismanagement is criminal at this point. It's criminal.
We haven't even gotten to it yet. But I gotta ask you, since we haven't talked since the news broke, even though you clearly knew it was going to break and called it. But what are your thoughts on your boy Grayson?
I'm sad about it because I love Grayson Rodriguez. I think that dude he should have been a phenomenal pitcher for this organization. I think that they have probably pissed him off to the point where he may never want to pitch here again. It's a clown show. It's, for a lack of a better term. And I'm not shitting on these players. It's the management. It's the organization. They have missed. If you're put yourself in Grayson Rodriguez's shoes, okay? You're battling injuries. You're battling setbacks, and then you see how they mismanaged Kyle Bradish. You see how they mismanaged Tyler Wells' workload before he got hurt again. Then you see how they just ruined arguably one of the most dominant closers in baseball to where he's not going to be able to throw a baseball for a damn year at worst,
If they're lucky.
if they're lucky. And now you finally have your surgery, and what would your thought process be? Because I know me personally, if I'm Grayson, I'm sitting around looking at the training table and I'm looking at the training room and I'm looking at the IL, arm's length long on paper. Man, like, get me out of here. And that's just the truth of the matter. Get me to some place that can keep me healthy. I would be looking at some place that I would just have my agent say, find me where they keep pitchers the healthiest, where pitchers don't get hurt. And he's injuring the same thing repeatedly now. The lat, the oblique, he's got the tools, he's got the stuff. This guy should be like a 15-20 game winner for the Orioles.
Yeah.
And the first thing they ever did that really screwed with him was the service manipulation time, keeping him down in the minors a year after he dominated 2 or 3 levels of the minors. You keep him down again, and then he gets hurt. When you could have had him on the major league level, and his trajectory could have been completely different. I hate that it happened. He has that injury prone label, and it might not entirely be his fault. And I want to see him get healthy, and I want to see him contribute to this Orioles team. I said it back in March. I said it back in February, Tim. He wasn't going to throw a single pitch for the major league club this year. And everybody in the comments was coming at me saying I didn't know what I was talking about. He'll be here after 5 weeks. And then what happened? He had his first setback. Then he gets hurt again. And then Hyde gets fired, and all of a sudden there's word out of camp that he's getting close. And then it goes from a shoulder injury to an elbow injury to a forearm injury. It's like it bounced around. And then all of a sudden you get that text message, that alert on your phone in the middle of a workday that Grayson Rodriguez is going to be shut down for the rest of the 2025 season to have surgery. It's not Tommy John surgery. It's the same surgery Colomb had. But we didn't see Colomb for a good portion of time.
Don't get me started on Cologne, man.
It's
dude's getting traded around at the deadline like the hottest bullpen commodity, and we couldn't re-sign him.
No, of course not. He's not coming back here. Why would he? Why would he? He would be getting thrown out. He would be put on the mound by Mansolino every single night, and his elbow would be shot by September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
He would have pitched 30 games in 50 days if Mansolino would have had access to him, because the bullpen is awful. I don't even know who's in our bullpen right now. It's a bunch of 4A players. Like Austin Jackson was our catcher tonight. Who is Austin Jackson?
I don't know, but I like the guy.
It's fine. He can be likable, but like, what are we doing here, Tim?
No, I get it. I get it.
Grayson is a sore subject for me the way Adley is for you.
I know. Oh, I know.
Because maybe it's because I'm a little bit biased because through my brother-in-law, I had a chance to meet Grayson and walk the tunnel in the dugout, or walk the tunnel and the clubhouse with him. Meeting Grayson, I had a chance to meet Jackson Holiday and Kobe Mayo's parents on the night that he got called up and had his first hit. I got to experience that. I might be a little bit biased because the dude treated me tremendously. But at the same time, Grayson's been the most touted pitching prospect we've had since Mattis, Britton. He might have been the most touted guy for the organization since Bedard.
Before they made their debut, I mean, DL Hall was they swung that dude's name around like
And
he was the
Dylan
next
Bundy.
coming of God.
Yeah, Dylan Bundy and all that. But he's better than both of those guys. I mean, but DL's at least contributing to a major league team. It might not be the greatest thing in the world, but he's there. That sucks, man. That totally sucks. And I'll never forgive them for what they did to him. Because he has every right to feel the way that he probably feels about this.
Yep. Matt, let's just identify something before we hop off the air. So you don't think there's any slim kind of chance that we're going to the playoffs, right? The season's over.
You know what? Crazier shit's happened.
It has.
I'm not. I wouldn't be shocked if we're sitting here in early October and we're previewing the wild card game. It wouldn't, because the thing is, the way that this year has gone, these bastards would get into the playoffs at a spite. It would be making it based on the fact that everybody counted them out. And now, do I think that they get smoked? Yeah. You're not competing. Do you see what the Seattle Mariners are doing right now?
Dude, we got freaking Johnny Appleseed and Fred McDonald in our bullpen. Like, I don't.
They are 15-1 since the deadline.
I know.
They have 7 guys in their lineup that could hit 40 home runs if they truly wanted to. They got Suarez and Naylor at the deadline and added it to Riley and Julio and all those guys. And they got a nasty rotation. Those dudes might win the World Series this year. They're that damn good. Like, but it would not shock me if we won that third and final wild card game and at least got one playoff game. I just wanted to happen solely because I want to hear Mansolino's post-game interview. I want to hear how many points we score in the playoffs.
Oh my god! All right.
Now I'll say this though. Let me finish my thought. I'll say this. I will come on this show and issue a public apology to everybody I've ever shit on this roster. If Mansolino does what Brandon Hyde couldn't do and gets a major league postseason playoff win under his belt, it like that to me that would piss me off more than how it's going right now and how it's been going. If we get to the playoffs after everything they emotionally did to us, after all the nonsense, after all the roster moves, you blew up the veteran leadership of this team at the trade deadline. You for the most part, you got guys that aren't going to be seen at the major league level until 2028 or 2029. And then in the span of a month, you're still not out of the wild card and you give your first major extension. They're going to piss me off and they're going to make the goddamn playoffs, Tim. Thank you for speaking that into existence because it's going to happen and I'm going to be upset because they don't deserve it.
Now that I got Matt all riled up about the playoffs, what I was alluding to was that the season's lost. We're not making the playoffs. So we need to address the concerns that we are lacking in order to make us a playoff team for next year. I'm going to run down the list of concerns. I want you to tell me your 1, 2, and 3 in pecking order for what we need to do this offseason. Okay. List of concerns, we have no bullpen. List of concerns, we have no true ace. We have arguably no number 1 or number 2, true number 1 or number 2 in this rotation. We have no power bat that's a veteran that has any kind of, knowledge or, leadership qualities in this league. Heck, we don't have anybody on this team that I think could even come close to 30 home runs. The catching position is up in the air. Is Sam your A1 day one that can catch 120 games a year?
Yes, Dave.
Is it split time between the two? Is this organization going to stick with Kobe Mayo, and what does that mean for Ryan Mountcastle, or vice versa? And who on this core, when I say core, I'm talking 4 players with an outlier being 5, would be Gunner, Jackson, Westberg, Adley, and Cowser. Cowser is the outlier there, or Adley, however, whichever way you want to look at it. Is this core that everyone talks about really going to be here in 2 to 3 years? So there's a lot of thought that goes into this offseason. What's your first move, second move, third move? And is this core going to be here in 3 years?
The first move I make, if he's available, is you throw a blank check in front of Kyle Schwarber. You get your power bat. He's not right-handed,
Personality-wise, he'd fit right in.
but he's a winner. He's played on World Series teams. If I'm not mistaken, he won a World Series. Did he win one with Philly?
No.
Okay, but he's a proven winner. And if you put that bat in the middle of this order, he's hitting 35, 40 home runs easily. Ignore the average. Ignore the on-base percentage. The man is a home run and RBI machine. I think he had 93 RBIs as of the first week of August. And 40 home runs. That's my number one. My number two is going and grabbing whatever arm, whatever ace you deem, and say, what will it take to get here? We need you to anchor this rotation. We need you to provide leadership. Is that Dylan Cease? Is that Joe Kelly? Is that Michael King? Yeah. Is that somebody of that nature? Then you need to go and find somebody in the manner of Shane Bieber or Nathan Eovaldi to be your 2. I'm saying one of those type of guys. Is that Ranger Suarez? You know?
Do you want to know how you could fix that and not even have to go look for a 2? Just get me one certified number 1 or number 2. Bradish comes back and pitches healthy. Trevor Rogers is healthy. If you have Trevor Rogers pitching the way he is right now, and a Bradish come back healthy, and you go out there and get a certified number 1 or 2, and in that mix, you have a certified number 1 or number 2, Trevor Rogers and Kyle Bradish, Dean Kramer can be a 4.
That's fine, but I'm not counting on Bradish to give me a full season.
I understand that, and there's literally no history.
Trevor Rogers' sample size is this.
Also agree there.
Is he pitching lights out right now? Absolutely. Tim, I agree with you 100% that might be one of the best starters present day in the major leagues, which is crazy to say about somebody on this baseball team. But you got to go and get yourself a power bat, and you got to go and get yourself a front end starter.
Can I argue you a little bit on Schwarber? Something that there's a issue created with that. Why I love it, and I would love his bat. I mean, who wouldn't, right? And I think personality wise, he would fit in. The problem is that with Basallo and Mayo and whoever is going to float in between, Adley's going to be an Oriole next year, barring a crazy winter. That's you don't want Schwarber in your outfield. He has to be your DH.
And that's fine. But if that isn't a possibility, then you have an opportunity to dangle Adley Rutschman to a catcher-needy team and get a major league arm.
Yeah, I don't think it would be anything special, but it could be someone pretty decent.
You could get a number 3.
Yeah, I think so.
You could get either a top of the line bullpen guy or a number 3 starter, and that number 3 can be potentially be your 4 or 5 with the way things.
We're not even going to bring up the fact that anybody that leaves this team and goes and gets under some real established hitting coaches somewhere else figures it out. But that's for a different day.
As for the core, the way it's looking right now, is Boris has essentially hogtied this team because Boris is not going to give in. The only way we secure some of this core is if they fire him as an agent. They
That's
would
what it's
have to.
taken
They
with a
would.
lot of
They would have to.
players.
They would have to fire him as an agent because he ruined contract chances for, if I can remember correctly, Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell. So, those are two major names in the last couple of years. If one of these guys can get rid of Boris and the Orioles can give them a monster extension, dominoes may fall. But I think that they're all going to stick with this guy. Now, I think that roughly we have 26, 27, and 28 before some of these guys are eligible, for, big money extensions
It starts next year.
with Adley, right? But the thing is, we don't know where Adley's going to be playing. We don't know what they're going to designate Adley as position-wise.
And also, just for the casual fan that might be watching, the difference between first base money and catcher money is massive.
Yes. First base money is what you want. Even though Cal Riley just got a hefty payday.
Yeah, hefty. It's a big dumper, baby.
Yeah, he's the exception to the rule. Because there's not another catcher in the game like him.
Well, now Samuel Basallo just signed the largest pre-arbitration contract of any catcher.
Yes. Now, number 3 on my list is going and getting a closer. Not a bullpen.
Rebuild the whole bullpen, Matt.
You got to rebuild the whole bullpen, but you need to go find that lights out, shut down closer. Whether it's Devin Williams, whether it's Matt Strom, somebody of that nature, top end of the line, closer.
Speaking of Strom, did you see that bullshit? He had his special needs team sign his glove for Players Weekend. They all signed all of their signatures on it. It's actually the same team that Ryan O'Hearn supports. But they both had the same agent, share the same special needs team. I forget who it was they were playing. The batters told the umpires that the glove was distracting, and they made him take it off.
Yeah, it's all gamesmanship. It's stupid, but you got to find a closer because right now, who's slated to be the closer next year?
The thing about closers is that it's tough to just go find a closer.
It is. I mean, one of the closers
really.
I would have loved to sign. He just likes to gamble and shit. Class A, but yeah, that whole Cleveland situation, those dudes are in trouble. That's about to be a stack of dominoes falling.
We got to add a whole bullpen. I haven't.
The thing
done
is, you're not gonna add. I can pull it up real quick. You're not gonna add 15 arms for the sake of it.
No, you need to add 3 certified arms and a starter. 3 certified bullpen arms and a starter, a 1 or a 2. I really would like to see Kyle Finnegan end up here. I've been saying that for 2 years.
According to Spotrac, Edwin Diaz is going to be available.
He is.
Kirby Yates.
Yep.
Taylor Aroldis Chapman.
That's the one everyone wants. I don't want to. Fuck Aroldis Chapman. Keep that abuser somewhere else.
Kenley Jansen, Robert Suarez, Ryan Helsley.
Did you see who the Houston Astros signed?
Yeah, douchebag.
Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, you got Jose Alvarado. Like you said, Finnegan. Soto's a free agent again at the end of the year. You want to revisit that? Ryan Stanek. Hunter Harvey.
Pirates top pitching prospect Bubba Chandler in his MLB debut, triple digits numbers and a historic save.
Yeah. There's Alex Garcia. Coulombe's going to be out there again. Pomeranz from the Cubs. There's some names out there that you could add to this bullpen, but the thing is, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money for them. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which I think is why this Basallo deal is a setup.
it could be. I mean, I'm looking at some of the arms that are available. Uh, Chris Bassett's available. Walker Bueller's going to be available. Nick Martinez. Bellinger's a free agent after this year, but I think he's going to re-sign with the Yankees. You got Marcelo Ozuna. Luis Arias is a free agent. Eflin and Cease and all those guys. Bieber's going to be a free agent.
Bring me King.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the big one right there. But like you said, man, it's hard to pinpoint 3 because you need a lot. But I think a free agent closer, you got to go get somebody. I would go get Helsley. I don't think he's going to re-sign with the Mets.
I think they will definitely go get somebody. I think they'll definitely
They
go get
have to.
dominating bullpen.
There's no
Whether
choice.
it not be a certified closer, somebody you can work into the closing role that might have been a setup guy. Sure. They probably will go get a starter, a 2 or a 3. I don't know. I mean, I was shocked when the Corbin Burns deal happened. The window ain't open forever.
It's not really open now.
Nope.
It's like slightly ajar.
Clock took a little reset this year.
It did. But you gotta
3 of your 4 on your so-called core that everyone talks about and is like, they kept the core together. They kept the core together. Yeah. 3 of the 4, their agent's not going to let them sign pre-arbitration. It's just not happening.
correct.
And when they do get the chance to sign, it needs to be the highest offer in baseball because that's what they're going to fetch.
Yep. I think out of the core that we're talking about, you can't let Gunnar get away. I think that is a must that you keep Gunnar here. I personally believe Jackson Holiday is going to be playing wherever his brother's playing, which is the Colorado Rockies. But if he happens to get traded for something huge or they don't hold on to him, I think wherever Ethan goes is where Jackson's going to end up. I just think that it's a family affair there. I don't know if Matt Holliday would let him sign a long-term extension here the way he's guided him the first 2 years being a Major League Baseball player. Westy, I could see realistically staying, but I don't think they're going to pay Westy top of the line third base money. Kowser, you're going to have to overpay him to stay, but you can't pay him anywhere close to like what Soto or anybody else like that got.
No, I totally agree. And that's the thing is like, this isn't, I don't want people to think that it's like a knock on.
Is that real life?
Yeah. I don't want people to think that like this is a knock on Basallo. It's absolutely not. Super happy for him.
Man, send him a link. Let's get him on the screen, man.
And incredible that they inked the deal. It's not a knock on his agent.
Message that man. Get him on this
Definitely not
show.
a knock on his agent. I mean,
well, we can ask him.
Props. Incredible deal. Like,
man, you
awesome.
better say something to that man. I'm putting it on. I don't care right now.
Nah.
Shoot or shoot.
I
like
that's the whole misconstrued point is that it's not about Basallo. It's not about his agent. It's the fact that in 7 years, the guy that you just said 2 weeks ago to the entire fan base was not ready for major league catching, even though we all knew he was. We all
He's
knew
been
he's a
ready.
generational bat. We all knew Sam Basallo is the truth. When I watched him play for the first time 2 years ago, I literally looked at my fiance at the time and I said, "Holy shit!"
You
Like
texted me. You even texted me after the game.
I said, "This is going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to the Orioles in my lifetime."
And he was almost a
So
Yankee.
this people like it's not a knock on his agent. It's not a knock on him. It's a knock on the fact that it's taken 7 years to have any of our young players extended, and the fact that we were told this guy can't catch at the major league level, and then 3 or 4 days after he makes his debut, we're signing him a deal. It's just we're being deceived, and I don't understand how people can ride behind what's going on beside the scenes in the Orioles organization and not see the light. Like,
Scott Boras is holding this team hostage. Let's
but
that
that's the thing is like if you know that, go
wipe
make
it all away.
take the overshot. Go pay the extra. Get it done.
He's not going to let it happen
I get that, but money talks.
because hypothetically speaking, you give Gunnar Henderson a 10-year extension for $350, averaging 35 mil a year. On average 35 mil. And then in 4 years, 4 other shortstops get paid, and the baseline for the production is 41 a year. And Gunner's arguably better than the 4 other guys that got paid. And all of a sudden, Gunner's not the trendsetter anymore. Gunner falls in that 3 to 4, maybe 5th highest paid shortstop. It's the same thing that happened with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson set the record for 2 weeks. And then it was the next guy. And now Lamar Jackson's like the 8th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And he's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. So you might run into that with Gunner. And if he's got Boris still in his ear, are you going to go play for 35 million when you can play for 44? No. You're going to have to restructure. You're going to have to give him a whole brand new contract. You're going to have to tear that one up and give him a new one.
Yep.
That's why Boris is not doing this. This is the problem that you have picking high all these years. That's the reason I'm saying that's a downside to picking in the top 5 for 3 or 4 consecutive drafts. Boris signs all these guys, and now it's coming home to roost. The chickens are coming home to roost. Every single one of these guys are going to want to get paid top of the line money.
I don't know. Good for Sam. It's generational money for his family. Generational money for, his kids. Like, it's great. Am I happy he got the deal done for him? Yeah, sure. Like,
I'm happy. I'm happy he signed too. You can't convince me otherwise.
there's a reason I have, 3, an orange, a white, and a gray Basallo jersey on the way. Like, I've said this for a while. I just needed to know what number he was going to be. Hopefully he sticks with 29, doesn't switch it up on us next year. Like, that's what totally got misconstrued in my tweet is like, this wasn't a stab at his agent. This wasn't this was literally, I took a shot at Mike Elias.
And the thing is, it's fair. You can't get mad at the agent. You can't get mad. He secured generational wealth for a 21-year-old baseball player.
Right.
Because no matter which way you shake it, 67 million at worst and 88 million at best for this contract. That's generational wealth for the next 3 or 4 generations if invested properly.
Yeah. With the
And
potential for bonuses, a $5 million signing bonus,
by the
it's a
time it's
ladder scale.
over,
It goes up. Like,
by the
it's
time it's over, the kid's going to be 30.
right. And have the potential to re-sign a bigger deal.
Right. So this might be the first 88 million of potentially earning a $500 million
Yeah.
on the next contract.
And that's what I think. Like when I said that it's, an agent from the Dominican that works for CAA that, people probably haven't heard of. It's not a shot at the agent. It's the fact that there's a big difference in what Mike Elias did between dealing with Scott Boras and these guys on the team that are represented by these do not budge until arbitration is over type deals and agents versus a guy who, was recently promoted to the head of Latin America for CAA a year ago, a guy who probably actually fully cares about his players and securing a bag for them that will be good for his family and his family's future, and that finds something that could be team friendly to get the deal done. Like, there's a difference there. That's why the shot isn't at Basallo. This isn't at his agent. This is a shot at Mike saying that this was a layup for him. Like, people are all over the top. Like, Mike finally got it done. Look, Mike's trying. Mike finally got it done.
Here's what I'm going to throw some optimism out into the ether. I'm hoping that this year was just an anomaly, and we can get Bradish back fully healthy next year. That Trevor Rogers does indeed come back on a contract, and that we do go find at least an arm, and we start making some serious noise in the AL next year. Get back to the playoffs, and we show this core that, hey, we're investing in everybody else around you. Let's get some of this stuff done, and then maybe this time next year, going into the off season, we could potentially be talking about a Gunner extension or an Adley extension, or Jackson wanting to lock down long term, because winning cures a lot of this shit. I'm being being a winning baseball team cures a lot of this. I'm hoping that this is just a shitty year in the midst of a rebuild. I'm sure we're not the only team that's ever gone through this, and I'm sure we're not going to be the last. But some serious changes have to be made. And I know that you know better than anybody else. They got to be genuine and they got to be legitimate in selling it to this fan base, because you're one of the psychotic individuals that decided to not only re-up your season tickets, but you decided to add more games to the slate. And I understand it. You showed me the deal, and it ended up working out. But if you look at the bad outweighing the good in the last 6 weeks since the trade deadline, in the last 4 weeks since the trade deadline, Grayson, Batista, a 30% hike on tickets, eliminating very popular ticket packages, realizing we may never see Batista again, and then they sprinkle in the San Basallo deal. It's bad vibes, but hopefully this gets corrected, and Mike Elias shows some good faith and goes and gets us what we need, at least somewhat. I'm not asking for him to be a video game general manager and go offer $50 million a year to the people you want to see in an Oriole uniform. But you gotta do. You've invested in Basallo. You have Adley paying attention. You have Gunner paying attention. You have Jackson and Westberg and Kauser. All of them are paying attention because they know that now you're willing to play ball at the negotiation table. You gave a guy that's played 7 major league games an 8-year extension.
3.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Matt. We haven't done it in a while. Wrapping it up.
I'm going to throw a little bit of a tease out there. We might have a very, very, very special surprise guest in the next few weeks before the season's over. This might be a pretty good one. I know it'll definitely be a good one, but if we can work something out,
it'll be good.
It's going to be real good. It's going to be super good. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it too. I might even express gratitude.
I'll offer an apology first.
No, I'm not doing that. I might if he says yes. He said yes, but locking down tonight. Want to give a special shout out to our boy Jeremy Kahn. He's still recovering from throat surgery. He had a little bit of a setback. Jeremy, I texted him earlier this week to check on him, and he's doing better. Yeah. Other than that, it's been a fun hour and 36 minutes. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. And
We ain't done yet. I got a question for you.
Oh, I thought I was wrapping up. Okay,
No,
ask me.
before we wrap it up, I'm bringing it back from old time's sake. You got to play Guess That Oriole.
I don't want to do this anymore.
No, you got to do it.
I'm gonna be just like my daughter about.
I'm gonna read off some stuff, and then I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay.
All right, ready?
All right.
5-time All-Star. 3-time MVO, Most Valuable Oriole. Won the Silver Slugger Award. 4th on the Orioles list in at-bats. 4th in total bases. 4th in hits. 5th in home runs. 5th in runs. 5th in RBIs. 5th in extra base hits. 7th in doubles. 8th in games. 10th tied in triples.
Adam Jones.
Yeah. You want to know a fun fact about Adam Jones?
He put a pie in your face.
Well, but he was also the last Oriole to sign a long-term extension.
I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Think about that. Just think about that. We had an extension signed today. The last one to do it was Adam Jones.
I missed the 21-10 outfield.
Who, Nicky?
Yeah. Shout out to Nick Markakis. We share the same tattoo artist. Joe Lathan, have fun, be lucky. I know it's a free plug. I don't care. I love Joe. He's tattooed me since I was 18 years old. I'm almost 37. So, yeah. Can we wrap it now?
Wrap it.
All right, that'll do it, folks. Thank you for tuning in for the last hour and 40 minutes of your life. We have talked about a plethora of hypothetical scenarios and some truth and some factual information for the Baltimore Orioles. We'll be back. We don't know when because we are highly inconsistent this season. Highly inconsistent, but I love it. I love you anyway, Timothy.
It was a lot different when they were winning games.
Yeah. When we were a 100-win team, we were on here all the time. But I digress. That'll do it. Catch us on Twitter, on X, MShrigWBP. Shameless plug for the We Bleed Purple podcast for my football side with Daniel Wilcox. If you are watching this show, subscribe to that for all your Ravens coverage this year. And Fowl Ball Talk. If you have not liked, subscribe, and share it on your social medias. We are looking to build our following on the YouTube side. We are pretty much making waves on social media thanks to Tim. But
pissing them off, baby.
Pissing them off one day, one tweet at a time. That'll do it, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Tim, it's always a pleasure sharing the screen with you, man.
Always a pleasure, Matt.